So again, we are pulling strictly from Allegheny County, and we're looking at just single family homes. So I highlighted the row, this is today, 9/19, where we're looking. And up from, if you go all the way back to where we started on August 1st, there was 1904 new listings. There are currently now.
You're not sharing your screen.
You're not seeing my screen? Oh my God.
No.
Excellent. Okay. Let's do it again.
There it is. I see a screen.
Oh my Lanta. Okay.
There it is. I see it. I see it.
Okay, I've done this twice now. Okay. So anyways, now you all can see what I'm seeing here. For Allegheny County single family homes, we have 2,127 new listings, which just in the beginning, we went up and up and up. Then we saw a little dip here, and then we went back up, little dip again, but we've gone back up. Over to new listings in the past 7 days is up from 241 last week to 302. So even in the past 2 weeks, we've seen a significant jump. On August 5th, right, there were 206 new listings to 241 to 302. So we're up almost 100 new listings each week in the past 2 weeks, or total, which is quite interesting. New pendings in the last 7 days, 261, which is up from last week also. Total number of closings is also up by 10. So we're at 174 total closings in the last 7 days in Allegheny County single family homes. The average days on market is 36. So that also just keeps going up. I mean, we're up 10 additional days from when we started tracking these numbers in August, which is just such a good talking point when we're talking to sellers and their expectations are to be in multiple offers on the first day. What a good conversation that is. That says, in Allegheny County, our single family home average day on market is 36 days. I think that's shocking for some sellers, still hoping or expecting to be in our previous markets. So a little shell shocked by that. The average price, it had gone down a little bit, but we went back up to 281,459. However, it's significantly down up here. I think we were seeing in August, that's when we were seeing those May and June pendings close, and we were seeing all the multiple offers. And then it's come down. We're in a, except for a couple of weeks ago, that was a fluke high. We are up a little bit from last week. Number of price reductions, 287, which is up. So, I mean, to me, that's saying we're just continuing to have those hard conversations with our sellers and getting them on our train as to where the market is now. It might not have, we might have had the conversation when we first were listing, and maybe it didn't work. They didn't listen to us. They're still hoping to get that. But 287 price reductions in Allegheny County in the last week says we're having those conversations. It's like, hey, Mr. Seller, like we're sitting on market. This is what the market is telling us. We need to reduce price. And this one's super interesting. The sale price to list price ratio is down 97%. That's a big jump. if you see back here, I mean, we've been hanging out at 199. We spiked up a little bit above 100. I mean, we're 2% down. Does anyone use that sales price to list price ratio when trying to price a home for sale, or know how to use that? So in the, go
I
ahead.
just got a listing and I haven't. I don't think he was ridiculous in how he wanted it priced. I did a comparative analysis of the homes, you know, and
Mhm.
it was within reason.
Yeah.
He asked me what I thought it should be, and I said, at the end of the day, it is your decision. I don't want to steer you either way because I just don't like that the onus put on me. But I said, what I will say is just let me know. First of all, houses are not going 30, 20, 10 over market anymore. He said, oh, I'm aware of that. I said, what is your floor? You know
Mhm.
what you want, but what is your floor? And I said, to me personally, for the area, that's more doable. I said, but I'm definitely going to list at what you want. But
Mhm.
long as I know, you know, what you're willing to accept. I haven't. I think it was a realistic conversation. He was pretty realistic, so I haven't had to have the like daunting conversation. Like, honey, please, no.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah. I mean, it can get kind of, you know, the battle of the wills, and ultimately you're right, you know, it is their choice. We can guide them, if you will. And so this has just been really interesting. Like, you know, Gary Keller in the Shift book talks about pricing ahead of the market. And we really had a mastermind around what the heck did that even mean? How do you price ahead of the market? And what we took away was using this particular number, the sales price to list price. So I'll go real quick. We'll do residential. It's all probably messed up from pulling all these numbers, if my internet will allow. It's not going to. We're not going to mess with it. So anyways, we'll go in residential search and we'll, you know, pick the area. You know, for instance, I have a new listing in Overbrook and I'll pull, you know, that area and put in the stats of my home, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and I'll pull the results. And then at the bottom, there's the stats tab. If you click on that and click on tabular, that will
has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
I'm back, you guys. I'm sorry. This is terrible. Can you guys all hear me again? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I can hear you.
I know. I'm sorry. So anyways, that'll give us, if we click pull the specific stats of our area and of our house and go to the bottom of the results, and it'll give us the stats. We click on tabular. That's where we're going to find the average, the median, the high, and the low. And if the sales price to list price ratio for my area is 97.7, what we'll do, or what I'll say to seller, is I'll show them this, you know, they're selling at a 97%. And if we want to price ahead of the market, if your, you know, if your goal is to, you know, get it for top dollar as quickly as we can, let's take what we wanted to list it at and multiply it by this 97.7%, and that's going to give us what we should be listing it at to price it ahead of the market. So that's just been a really great tool to use when talking with sellers. They're not selling in this over 100%. They're all, you know, we're down to 97. And then the number of expireds is actually down to 52. total number of agents, we did not gain or lose. We're at 8,740. And that, again, that's in all of the West Penn multi-list. And we don't have the ability to see what is net. So who has left and how many new agents have come in. This is all we can see is this total number here. And then the interest rate is going up again, and we're at 6.5. Do you guys have any thoughts around any of that? It's kind of, as we've seen, the interest rates come down. We see, like up here, they were coming down, right? And all the numbers were a little different. And now we're seeing the interest rates go back up, and we're seeing, the prices kind of reflect that. Is anyone? Thank you, Denise.
I was going
Go
to
ahead.
say, I think that it's interesting that the number of total active listings is almost 200 higher than at the beginning of this chart. So there's more active listings.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, that's a big reflection of what's going on and impacting these other numbers as well. If there's more active listings, people don't have to be as competitive and do multiple offers, particularly with rates where they are, which means there's less buyers anyway. I don't know. I think it all makes sense and it all tracks. Is it it's big for how the market has been for the past year or so, but 97% is a totally normal sale to list price ratio in a market of 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it just kind of reflects where we are in a cycle.
Yeah, I think it just shows that we're moving back into a little bit more of a balanced market.
Yes.
We don't have that, like you said, that craze. There's more listings, there's less sold, so they're staying a little bit longer. So, that urgency and that fighting that the buyers had, they actually have the opportunity now to take a second, look at a house, maybe even a second time before making a decision.
And they have less competition and these crazy rates. Which really aren't
definitely
crazy rates either, but
they're still very low. Which I know Steve has talked about, Steve Chapenka, in the one class we were in, and if you know the history when you're talking to either sellers or buyers and trying to get them motivated at a 6%, and we go back to, what was it, like 1987, interest rates were 16%, so we're still very low.
Yeah, we are. That's a lot of information in history, though, to explain to the average person when they're making these kind of decisions. So that's the tough part, is all the numbers are tracking, and I don't think the sky is falling, but the shift is real. I mean, it's there, and we're watching it play out, and it has impacted business and conversations.
Yeah. And I think, Denise, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I've been told that it's not that long ago, average price in Pittsburgh was $200,000. If you went to some else, like in Atlanta market, and you said your average price was $281, they would laugh at you. That's like half.
I know.
I mean,
pieces, but
Yep.
I think that matters more just to out-of-state buyers more than anybody else.
Absolutely, no question. I think, as I said, it's still an affordable market. There's still opportunities out there, but it's a market. The only difference is we're not in the front page of every newspaper telling them how many we've sold and what we've sold and what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So, good information, good talking points. I definitely am, I've got two sellers on the other side of the line. They're too expensive. Keep trying to find a way to get them lower. To drop a little bit, but it is what it is, and one of them's just 30 days now. So the other one on your hand. It's not time. Anything else?
Sorry, my internet,
Not for
I'm
me.
having a hard time. But I think, Denise, too, like what you were saying, we're feeling it, but to be able to look at it and see, we can't tell, our clients, oh, we feel, but what do we feel? And this really just helps put it out exactly kind of what we're feeling. So it's just really good to keep, it's interesting to keep watching and seeing, what we're feeling and make sense of it.
And I see a pattern. I love to see patterns. I would, might wish that interest rate pattern was different.
Yeah.
But it is good to be able to back up our conversations with real numbers. I would say I struggle sometimes with the sale to list price ratio unless there's enough data behind it. Like if you pick a neighborhood, like to look at it this way, it's wonderful. But when you're, doing pricing research, for a property and maybe you only have 3 sales in that area, there could be a story behind each one of those that makes it hard to say, oh, this is a pattern. It's more like, well, that was the specific story of
yeah, if there's not
happened.
good comps for that, 100%, it can really skew the data. Yeah, we just really, that's such a good point, just to be very aware of our neighborhoods or, what the numbers are.
Yes.
And as you said, this is an average because we're taking everything from Fox Chapel, Bethel Park, down to Leetsdale, and some of these other quote lesser neighborhoods, and we're doing it as an average. Neighborhood. This is such a neighborhood-driven town.
It is. It is.
But I think it's good, very good information, very helpful information, as you said, to have the conversation.
I agree.
But we've been talking about the shift now for how many months? We said this is coming. We talked about inventory going up. We talked about more days on market. So this shouldn't be a surprise. As you said, Denise, the sky is not falling.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, so maybe I shouldn't say anything, but even in a seller's market, I mean, the time on market, is several months, and then we get into buyers is a lot longer. What we've just been experiencing is like, unprecedented. It doesn't really fit anybody's criteria, so just unraveling the market from that is just, already having tough conversations. But when we are able to follow it, it's just, you can argue with me in my opinion all day, but you can't argue with what's factually happening.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, I enjoy checking this out and following it and just using it as a good talking point.
Yes.
I do too. This is such good information.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, well, I thank you all for being on here and putting up with my internet issues.
Thank you for bringing the leadership.
Yes.
Of course, I'm here. And hey, tonight, small plug, tonight at 5:30, we're going to be doing I'm not going to say it right, Sphere and Farming class, where we're going to be writing some golden letters and sending them out to our targeted zip codes and using RPR to gather that information. And we have the letter paper, the envelopes, and everything here. So we're going to actually be doing some hands-on stuff if anyone is free to stop by.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
But you're doing Zoom also, right?
Yes, we'll be doing Zoom also. Just have your
just
paper
missing-
ready to work.
I understand. Denise, it's nice to see you back.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Thank you. It's nice to be back. I was just telling someone last night that I have no regrets. No, it's only been reaffirmed that it was time for me to make the move I did, and
Yep.
I'm glad I did.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Awesome.
Right.
It's good to be back in business with you here. All right, everyone. We'll get out there. Have a great Monday. And of course, if you need anything, let us know.
Thank
Okay.
you. Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Everyone.